What's up, YouTube? It's Tommy S.I.D. As y'all can see, I'm in a whole new environment, man. I got the tree behind me. You know, I'm out here connected with nature and whatnot. You know, I'm on my whole little journey. My bad if the light too bright. You know, I'm out here in the sun, man, getting all this vitamin D and all this melanin on my skin, you feel me? But yeah, man, if you're new to the channel, what's up? My name Tommy. You can call me Tommy. I'm Tommy S.I.D., man. You know, call me whatever you want, man. You part of the family now. If you've been a part of the channel, my bad, but it's about to be a whole new switch of content. Like, I'm not about to, of course I'm still entertain y'all sometimes, but this channel is finna be more based on like self-awareness, health, building confidence and stuff like that. So like, as I'm going on this journey, y'all gonna be going along with it with me. So yeah, man, without further ado, we finna get into the video. White collar jobs or just jobs in general, whatever you want to call it. Dang, it's a bug over here. Whatever you want to call it, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. So because of all this little virus stuff that's going on, it's been like a shortage of jobs. And it's a reason for that. It's because like, well, I feel like with all the unemployment that was happening, so people was getting all this money for basically doing nothing, and they starting to realize like, this is really a lifestyle. Like, I can really make money from home, even though it was money that was being given. I feel like they seeing it as this is money I can be making on my own at home, not having to work for anybody else. So that's what's causing this thing called the Great Resignation, and which is like making everybody feel like it's okay to quit their jobs, or they just want to quit their jobs because they tired of being in the loop of I got to school, college, work, and that's it. And I retire when I'm 60. Like, I think people are starting to wake up and being realized to the fact that you don't have to do that to get where you want to be in life. So to start off, we're going to talk about the beginning, where all this starts from. All this stems from is school. So when you go to school, you basically already being programmed to become a worker. When you on that schedule of you go to school at 7 in the morning, you get out of school at 3 in the afternoon. What's that about? That's about 8 hours right there. So you're already being programmed to stay attentive in one area for 8 hours. And then you get a 30-minute lunch break. And just with corporate America, you only get 30 minutes of a lunch break. And you have to be around people that you generally don't really want to be around, but you have to just accept them and be around them because you're basically forced to do that. You're in this work environment, school environment, where you have to get along with each other just off the basis of earning something. In school, it will be getting grades, and at the workplace, it's obviously revenue, income, getting money. You understand? So at a young age, we're already being programmed to become a worker and be in the workforce. At a young age, we're always being in competition with the person next to us, and that will always be in regards to grades. Like, everyone always wanted to get the best grades. If you didn't get an A or a B, you will be looked at as basically a failure, at least where I came from. If you didn't get an A or a B, or if you weren't up to that par, then it was like what are you doing? Like, you basically in school for no reason. Like, they look at it as you are not putting in enough effort as you could have if you wasn't obtaining the desired grades, which was acceptable to everybody else, which would be A's or B's, sometimes C's, but who really wants to be in the middle? You get me? So I feel like that's where it all starts from. So now we're going to transfer to the workforce. Okay, so I recently just quit my job at the end of July because I felt like personally it was putting me into a state of depression. And I felt myself slipping more and more into that depression every day I went to work. So where I was working at Chrysler. You know, the people that make all the Scat Packs, the Hellcats, the Ram TRXs. But specifically, I was working on the TRXs. So when I would go in there, it would be like, when I walked in there, it's like everybody was miserable. It's like, oh, we're only in here because we feel like this is all we got. So every time I would come there, I would speak to everybody. It's hey, that's it. But it was really not a real conversation until it was break time. So then when you get that 30 minutes of break time, that's when everybody start communicating with each other and woo-tee-woo and all of this other stuff. So every day I went in there, I feel like I wasn't really going to reach an end goal. Of course, I was entered to make income, but it was really no end goal for me. It was like I was just working for the owner of the company to get rich while I'm still basically scraping around for pennies. And Chrysler is like a job where everybody feel like, oh, this is the best paying job because it's $17 an hour, where in reality, that's not really a good job. When most of the time these apartments, if you're working to afford an apartment, most of the apartments want 3 times the rent. So if you want an apartment in a decent area, you're gonna be looking at about $1,300. So, and they want you to make 3 times that, so 1,300 times 3 is $3,900, and you're only making about $2,400 at Chrysler. So I'm really not understanding how that's a high-paying job. So I was like, it's really no point of me being here if like, and then jobs, they tend to like pay you just for you to keep coming back to work, but not enough to build a sustainable lifestyle. Like I'm about to make a very irrational example out of this. But let's say you was working at a job where every hour you was getting paid $2,000. So you working 8-hour shifts, 2 times 8,000 is $16,000. So boom, you're making $16,000. Realistically, you might not come back to work for the rest of the month. You're gonna feel like you set with that $16,000 that you just made in that one day. So of course, no corporate job is gonna do that because they want you to keep coming back to work so they can keep building their empire, but not enough for you to build your own empire. I almost forgot to tell y'all exactly why like I hated this job so much. For starters, I was working 6 days a week. So I was working from Sunday to Friday. I would only have Saturday off. Then I was working the graveyard shift. So I'm working from 10 at night to 6 in the morning. And I'm doing it all over again the same day. So like I would get off on 6 in the morning on Monday and have to come back in at 10 p.m. Monday night. So it was like mentally it was like I really wasn't getting a break because I was still coming to work the same day. Then it was like, man, yeah, and then the whole point, I know y'all probably hearing some other stuff right now, but just try to disregard that. Then my intentions for this job was to use this job to kickstart or fund my career or my business or whatever I wanted to do. But with me getting checks every single week, I knew that wasn't gonna happen because I was always gonna put off my dreams and aspiration because I feel like, oh, I'm getting paid $700 this week. Let me buy 2 pairs of shoes this week because I know I'm gonna have money coming next week. Then next week come, like, oh, now let me go out, have a good time. Because I know I'm getting money the next week. Now another week come, oh, let me buy some shoes again. So it's like I was gonna keep being in this cycle of spending and not saving and not funding my career or investing my money at all because I felt comfortable at that job because like I said, I was getting paid $17 an hour. So I was making about $700 to $800 a week, depending on if I wanted to put overtime, then I could make like $1,000 a week. But I didn't really want to put that overtime in. So yeah, it was just making me too stagnant and too comfortable. And I knew that I really wasn't gonna get nowhere with that job. So I just quit. And quitting, man, when I tell you quit was not easy, quitting had to be one of the hardest things that I've did in a long time. Probably my whole life, because like I'm not a quitter. I don't label myself as a quitter. I never want to quit anything realistically, but it was just getting to a point where like, bro, I'm not getting nowhere with this. And I know personally for myself, this is not going to take me nowhere or nowhere I need to be. So I'm like, man, I just got to let this go. And I had to get the support of my family and friends. And everybody initially was saying, bro, just keep trying. Because, man, at least you're getting some money coming in. And then with that only being my only way of income, it was really hard for me to leave because I'm like, damn, where else I'm going to get some money from? So then eventually things start working out. I start finding a little temp service. I'm going through a little temp service right now. And I'm able to fund what I need for my dreams, aspirations, and careers without having to clock in 6 days a week. I could choose my schedule. I have a lot of flexibility with this temp service. So now I'm getting a little better. My mental is a little better. And I feel like that step of quitting that job is exactly what I needed to get to the next step of my life. So that's why I always had the mindset of I would rather work for myself than build somebody else's dream. Like I would rather put them 40 hours a week, or I will even put in more than 40 hours a week for myself and my own personal gain for it to eventually pay off instead of working for somebody else's dream. Why not build my own dream? My bad if you're hearing a lot of wind. Like I said, I'm out here in nature, getting all this melanin and this vitamin D into my skin. So I thought, why not make this video? So yeah, I think that's why a lot of people, this thing called the Great Resignation is going on, because a lot of people are waking up. It's like, I don't really want to work for anybody else when I can just be working for myself. And I feel the same exact way, but I've always been like that. Like, I've always hated school. I've never really wanted a job, but I knew that to make some type of income for the time being, I would have to work a job. You know, businesses don't just bloom overnight. It takes months to years and years and years, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm okay with that as long as I'm working for myself. I feel like that's reaching the end goal for me. So if you're a person like me and you know that jobs aren't for you, or you don't like school, I think that's basically a sign that you got to start your own thing and build your own path instead of trying to build somebody else's empire. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to do this for anybody else. You can do this for yourself. You don't have to work that job, slave for 40 hours, be miserable, be depressed, cry every time you get to work. That wasn't necessarily the case for me, but I was slipping into depression. You don't have to be like that. You have a choice. You have a choice to build your own business. You have a choice to start your own flowering company or be a gamer on YouTube, or even like what I'm doing right now, be a YouTuber. You have that choice. It's not school, college, work, retire when I'm 60. It's so many other ways to make money nowadays that kind of college was irrelevant. And I knew that from a young age, that anything I wanted to do personally in life would not involve college. I don't want to be a doctor, don't want to be a lawyer, attorney, anything of that sort. If you want to be those things, of course you have to go to college. But all this competing and climbing up the corporate ladder to still not even own the business, I feel like that's modern day slavery. And I didn't want to be a part of that. So basically, my message to you is, if you're feeling like you want to quit your job, maybe that's a sign from the universe that you need to start your own thing, because it's not going to benefit you if you keep downplaying your mental health because you want to be comfortable at a job. Comfortability is the easiest way to fall into failure. You know, you're never going to try anything if you become comfortable. You're always going to be stagnant in what you're doing. You're going to become acceptant of the reality that you're living in. So if you're one of those people like me that you knew school wasn't for you, work wasn't for you, you didn't want to do any of those things, I think that's a sign that you need to start doing your own thing. And I took that as a sign myself, and that's why I'm making this video, because I know that my path is to help others and help people realize their worth as I'm starting to do myself. So again, like I said, while I'm on this journey, y'all are going to be part of this journey with me. So my message to you is, again, if you feel like none of this is for you, climbing the corporate ladder, school, anything, I'm not telling you to drop out of school if school is a necessity for you. I'm not telling you to drop out of school at all. I'm not telling you to not work at all, because you're going to have to make some type of income for the time being. All I'm saying is, if you're a person like me where you feel like climbing the corporate ladder isn't for you, or you don't see this paying off for you at all, take that as a sign to do your own thing, be your own boss, and build your own empire. With that being said, thank you for watching the video.